All right, this is Unit 1, Lecture 1, Part 2. We've been talking about culture, and in order to fully understand the origins of human beings, it is essential to look at shared cultural characteristics, or all the elements of culture, and balance this then with information gathered by archaeologists, anthropologists, paleontologists, as well as other social scientists. These blended views help us to interpret the past and provide us with what eventually will be referred to as history. So where did the first humans come from or live? Well, most scientists today have concluded that the earliest humans and their ancestors originated in East Africa. And much of what we know about this reconstruction is based on the extensive work by the Leakey family. The Leakeys, a British family full of anthropologists, became really well known in the 1930s. The Leakey's analysis of human fossils actually brought about the emergence of the field that we now call anthropology. The Leakeys stumbled upon some amazing fossils, including prehistoric fossilized footprints of early human ancestors called Australopithecines. Instead of making you attempt to spell this complicated word, let me provide you with a simpler version: hominid. Hominids are thought to have first appeared in East Africa, near what we now call Somalia and Ethiopia. Hominids were human-like creatures who were walking upright. The Leakey family uncovered hominid fossils and helped provide future scientists with many clues about the past. Later, another group of scientists came across a near-complete skeleton of a female hominid. Do any of you listen to the Beatles? Have you ever heard of the song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? No, I will not subject you to my American Idol outtake voice yet. Yeah, so the scientists nicknamed the fossilized skeleton Lucy after this song. You know, it was, after all, 1974, and the Beatles were extremely popular. Oh, they had broken up in 1970 and ventured off into solo careers at that point. There had been talk of a reunion tour in 1974, which evidently was quashed by Yoko Ono, according to entertainment gossips of the time. And no, I was not alive then, so please don't ask or comment, even if assumed that I was around back then. But hey, Lucy was a significant find, folks, because she lived around 3.5 million years ago. Lucy and others who were later found were examples of Australopithecines, or early hominids. Among the characteristics we know that they possessed based on fossilized evidence, yeah, they had opposable thumbs, which is super important if you want to make tools properly. Just ask Johnny Tremaine. Not to mention, it allows all of you to hold your smartphones in place while you furiously text, OMG, LOL, Mrs. Malloy is da bomb, etc. So when did fire come around? I know you're asking that right now. Yeah, so scientists think effective use of fire to cook and make tools using opposable thumbs developed during what we call the Paleolithic Age, or the Stone Age, which happened between 2.5 million BC to 8,000 BC. Wow. In other words, a super, super, super long time ago. And then, well, something pretty darn miraculous took place. Between 8,000 and 3,000 BC, a period of time called the Neolithic Revolution took place. Neolithic means New Stone Age, and is characterized primarily by the use of new types of tools. It's also characterized by the domestication of animals and, more importantly, wide-scale farming. But more on that later. Much of the Paleolithic Age was during something often referred to on Earth as the Ice Age. Why did the Neolithic Era happen then? How did it follow the Paleolithic Age? Well, we think it has a lot to do with the end of the Ice Age, global warming, and people being able to farm in the new climate that emerged. Okay, so how did modern Homo sapiens emerge, according to scientists? And please note that I said scientist, not professor of religious theories, because I do not want to offend anyone. Yeah, inherit the wind, good stuff. Anyway, on that handy-dandy timeline in your notes, I would like you to write down some years under the bullets for each of the hominid types that lived during the Stone Age. Try and figure out the timeline, okay? Or the Paleolithic Age. And by the way, I think I might have misspelled Australopithecines, so I'm very sorry for all of you, or I'm very sorry, you spelling and grammar nuts. In any event, the earliest hominids, or Australopithecines, emerged, we think, 4 million years ago and remained around until 1 million BC. Secondly, The Australopithecines were believed to have lived in southern and eastern Africa. They had fairly small brains, only around 500 cubic centimeters, and that's about 1/3 of our brain size, but they were the first human-like creatures to walk upright. Around 2.5 million to 1.5 million BC, Homo habilis emerged. Homo habilis had a slightly larger brain at 700 cubic centimeters, and these were found in East Africa. It's believed that that extra 200 centimeters cubed of brain function allowed them to make tools. Okay, so that's not entirely true, but we do know that they used stone tools. And the next human ancestors, Homo erectus. They lived 1.6 million BC to around 30,000 BC. It's believed that they lived in Africa, Asia, and Europe and had a brain around 1,000 centimeters cubed. From about 200,000 to 30,000 BC, the Neanderthals emerged. They had a brain that was bigger than modern humans or Homo sapiens. Yeah, bigger brain than we have. Yeah, so calling someone a Neanderthal isn't that bad. I mean, it would be far more demeaning to call someone an Australopithecine, but not as easy to say, and I guess we should never ever make fun of other people in any way, just even in jest, lest it be interpreted the wrong way. So just don't do it, okay? But hey, that was a slight tangent. It's all good. Right, so we've established that the Neanderthals weren't so backwards after all, and there's proof that they conducted ritual burials and other religious ceremonies, which shows that they were contemplating an afterlife and had some sort of belief system in place. Well, in 1997, scientists concluded that Neanderthals were not directly related to humans of today based on some DNA tests. The Neanderthals disappeared for reasons unclear around 30,000 years ago. From 40,000 to 8,000 BC, the Cro Magnons emerged. These are believed to be human ancestors. They showed an ability to plan their hunts and coordinate these with each other. We also believe that they had a more complex use of language, or had language skills, which allowed them to more effectively communicate with one another. Cro Magnons were found in Europe. They had a brain size around 1,400 centimeters cubed, a bit larger than current humans, and were known to have created artwork in the form of cave paintings. Great examples of this artwork include the Lascaux caves in France that were discovered by scientists in the 1940s. There is now a replica available for people to visit, as they had to close the original in 1962 to preserve the paintings. Long story short on human origins, a lot of what we know about where humans emerged is still sketchy. For example, in 2002, a skull was found in Chad, a country in Africa, that scientists believe to be 6 to 7 million years old. This indicates that perhaps there was another human-like ancestor or hominid well before the Australopithecines. OMG, right? Yeah, to confuse you even more, a discovery of a Neanderthal musical instrument in the form of a bone flute clearly indicates that perhaps the Neanderthals had other talents. Wow. See, history is never clear-cut or black and white. So much of what we call history is simply an educated guess. We do know that modern humans appear to have lived during and after the Neolithic Revolution. Humans will learn to adapt to their physical environment and will alter their environments or change their environments, and this is going to lead to the rise of early civilizations. But more on that part later. Thanks for listening. Bye.